Day one of the Dodge Powerbrokers U.S. Nationals is finished. Today, pretty quiet day, mostly a prep day. A lot of the fan access in the pavilion is starting to be set up in the midway. Dodge is setting up their stuff outside the media tower. And as you can see around here, we're standing outside the Capcom Motorsports and the Trip Tatum Racing. A lot of the teams starting to make their way in here, starting to make their homes. Top Fuel, Funny Car, Pro Stock Motorcycle, starting to make their way in here and set up shop as the circus moves into town for the biggest race of the season. Still a couple more teams left to show up, but a big majority of them are here. Today and tomorrow, pretty quiet. Going to be a lot of prep work getting ready for Friday's night qualifying session, but today was mostly sportsman qualifying. What I noticed a lot of today, left lane difficulties. A lot of drivers in the super stock category were struggling to get off the line, whether they were having a wheel stand, they would come back down, and I saw a lot of drivers having very close calls, either running close to the center line or very close contact with that wall. So I don't want to say big problems. There seemed to be a bald spot near the starting line that they were working on between the sessions after super stock ended. But could that be a possible issue come pro stock in the other classes come Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday? Only time will tell. What we do know so far right now is big news coming out of Top Fuel Rakes. Clay Milliken from Stringer Performance just announced today that Ware Racing, who was a sponsor of theirs back in 2020, is now investing in the team. If you follow NASCAR, IndyCar, or even IMSA, they have a bit of history in there. They have a cup team with a couple drivers. They've had drivers like J.J. Yaley. They've had drivers like Rick Eversley. Major drivers come out of there to run part-time on the schedules and the ovals to try out NASCAR. But what they've really found success in is their IndyCar program. They're partnered with Dale Coyne Racing back around 2020. They had Roman Grosjean as their starting driver, and they were on fire the time that they were together. He now runs over at Andretti, now with Takuma Sato, who is still picking up the pace and is still about at the same level that Roman was when he was at that team. So Rick Ware has a history of taking these teams that maybe struggle, giving them the funding they need, and boosting them to that higher level. Right now, Clay Milliken sits tied in 11th in points with Austin Prock coming into this event. With the rules that they have in place, more than likely going to be locked in because of the minimum qualifying sessions that they've done. But regardless, they have been looking for a turnaround. They have been struggling week after week after week, getting out of the first round. They have the new sponsor with Nordic OTT, or OCT, whatever it is. And they still have the Parts Plus deal. So they're going to debut a new dragster this weekend with a new team. I still believe that it's going to be the same guys. It's going to be the same kind of deal that Dale Coyne has, where they're just going to basically give them the funding that they need and slap their name on the car. So only time will tell to see how that's going to work. Other than that, really, really cool news coming out of that. Hopefully it turns them around and we can see a really good performance out of them from now on until the end of the season. Other news. Phillips Connect announced a new challenge, the Mr. 300 Challenge. What the challenge is, starting Friday, when Funny Car and Top Fuel hit the track for qualifying, they have a new deal going on. The first driver to hit 300 miles an hour by the 8th mile is going to receive a $30,000 bonus. And that's going to go on from now until the end of the season. There is no limit on when it's going to happen. Whoever is the first to do it will win the $30,000. So a lot of cool things happening this week coming into the U.S. Nationals. Not going to be a lot going on tonight. Bit going on tomorrow as more and more teams starting to set up. And hopefully we have the opportunity to talk to some drivers. Not a lot of them around today. Most of them doing media stuff. I know Clay Milliken was at a Walmart, I believe in Indianapolis. He was at one in Brownsburg yesterday. Hopefully we have a chance to talk to him tomorrow. I don't know. But regardless, a lot of stuff going on here. Biggest race of the season. And I just want to give a shout out to me and my friend Brody, who's working the camera behind you.
Hi.
We have been walking around the pits, and it is insane to see. The amount of cars that are here is mind-boggling. To give you an idea, if you've ever seen the map of Indianapolis Raceway Park, Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park, if you look back there on the west side of the grandstands, they have sportsman teams lined up from where the staging lanes start all the way down to the shutdown area and beyond that. And on top of that, we have sportsman classes back over there, right behind where the pro categories are. They wrap around all the way outside turn 2, or I believe turn 3 of the oval, where the campgrounds are. There is a ginormous amount of cars here for the U.S. Nationals. Rarely ever do you go to an event and have this big energy feel. There's been a talk about it, about how Indianapolis started to lose that over the years. It is back. There are a lot of cars. 25 top fuel cars alone going for 16 spots. It's incredible of how many cars are here. We have about over 800 cars in the sportsman category alone across all of the classes. So really, really big stuff going on there. We actually had a chance to talk to some of those drivers. I'm going to give you a heads up. Haven't done an interview in 3 years. Haven't done it in a while. Give me a break. Hopefully it gets better throughout the weekend. But we do have an opportunity to talk to those guys. Here's what they had to say. So I saw this wagon earlier today, and I was stunned by it because I know that the wagons have a history in the NHRA. I'm just wondering, what made you want to choose to drive a wagon versus like the Camaros and the Cobalts and Mustangs that everybody else runs?
It's just a cheap way to go stock racing. I got a 68 Camaro, and it's just a lot more money than it is to run this car.
Right.
I don't have to be. I got a heads up here this weekend, but the Copos and the Camaros more competitive.
All right. So obviously, I saw you're from Washington. That's a very long track to come out here to Indianapolis. What made you want to do that track, and just how many challenges do you face traveling basically cross country to come to this event?
We're in the Jags All-Stars race for on Saturday. That's what made us come out here. But we were here last year. It's a fun track. It's fun. It's ending. It's a good place to come to.
All right. So obviously, Indianapolis, bit of a challenge trying to run here. Just kind of what is it like trying to drive here fast? And not only that, just trying to win here.
Winning here is kind of tough, and getting the car to run here is kind of tough. Running this kind of the air, and it's tough.
All right, and just I guess can I just you told us a little bit about the car. Just tell us a little bit more about it and kind of like the story behind it as well.
This is a 2300 Pinto. 1976. I've been racing the car for 9 years. It's fairly competitive. We do good in the car fairly well. Won a couple division races. Finished third. It's a fun car to race.
And I guess just lastly, how confident are you coming into this weekend? Do you think you have a chance to take it home?
Oh yeah. Yeah. We all got a shot. Just got to cut a light and run it up. That's it.
Right. See, I saw this car on the first morning run. I was blown away by it. You come out here with this equipment. Kind of tell us a story about this car and also kind of where this old school style design came from.
You're referring to the paint? Old school? Oh yeah, it's old school. Last time I had it painted was in '84, and so that's the era of the paint job. And I always liked it, so I just kept it the same as some of the other people that updated the paint jobs on their cars, you know.
It's kind of crazy to think about seeing these kind of cars. What's it like trying to drive these kind of cars, especially at a track such as the U.S. Nationals?
Well, U.S. Nationals is always a special place where all of us like to come, of course, you know, with these types of cars. It puts everybody in the same playing field, you know where everybody's at instead of wondering about the guy that ran fast last week out in California. The cars are a lot of fun to drive. They're old school cars, so they don't handle like the new cars do, you know. They're a real handful going down the track, but maybe that's what we like about them, you know.
Yeah. All right, so we saw in the first one, you had a bit of a mechanical issue. You shut the car off early. What exactly happened with that? We saw these sugar runs even better. So what was really the problem with
Well,
that?
our electrical functions misfunctioned in the car, and it missed one of the shifts points. And so at that point, we kind of realized that the run that needed to be aborted, so we just aborted the run.
And then lastly, just kind of a question I'm curious about. What makes you want to do this? Because I'm assuming you've been doing this for a while. If you're talking about you're doing this since '84, what makes you keep deciding I want to come back here and do this year after year after year?
Well, I was here for my first U.S. Nationals in 1964. That's a long time before you know, God being born. And I got into it when I was in high school. My dad was very supportive of it, bought me my first cars and stuff. And it's just, I don't play golf, I don't play football, I don't play basketball, so that's what I do for a hobby.
So I saw this paint we were talking about right before we started recording. This is one of the most unique designs out there. It's one of the more old school designs. I'm curious, also with the name Psycho Cuda, where did the idea for the name come from? And then where did the idea for the paint design that you have on this car come from?
All of it from my son, other than the name. I actually told him, I said, you know, I'm old. So, and I grew up in the 70s and stuff. So I said, back then it was psychedelic. So I actually told him I wanted psycho and a little hyphen-delic CUDA, and it never got that. So we went with psycho because he thinks I'm nuts anyway.
Okay, so I was looking at the time machines. Currently sitting third overall, about a 10th off the top one. We saw you talking with some of your guys back there about what you need to change. What do you think is going to be needed in order to find that 10th to have a shot at winning another national? Because you want to win one back into one. So what do you think is going to be needed in order for you to be in a spot to possibly win it again?
Well, all I really need was the hook, and it spun its nuts off. So tomorrow, you know, that's what I'm doing now. I'm getting ready to loosen it up a little bit. I loosen the shocks up, and I'm gonna give it a little travel. If I can get down the track, I'll be right up there with them.
All right, and then we also talk about a lot of these guys have been coming here for years. What really made you want to start doing this? What keeps you coming back? And also, as the past champion, what does it mean to win this race versus winning any other race across the country?
Well, like you know, as you said, I won the first one, and believe it or not, that was probably the best ceremony they've ever had. Because when I won, you know, of course, I jump up on my car, and then they bring us up the return road. When they brought us up the return road, the crowd, the stands were full. And I mean, you know how they do the wave at a college football game? That's what they did as I come down. Everybody stood up and cheered for me as I come down. It drove me past the pro stock car, over in front of the tower. Linda Vaughn's there, just cheering the heck out of herself. She was so happy for me. And I'm going, you can never erase that. I'm not saying that's nice, so I got one of the big trophies there too. And in November of this year, I won Louisiana called the Emmy shooting. So I got some stuff.
And with that, how confident do you feel? Because there's only 8 cars, but it seems to be also just a very competitive class. So just how confident do you feel going into tomorrow and throughout the weekend about the possibility of scoring another Wally?
Well, you know, you come here, anything can happen. Last year in the 3rd round, I did the same thing I did today. I blew the tires off, and the guy that won the race, that's who I was racing. So that was his luck round. You know what I mean? But, you know, I think it's all in God's hand. He knows before we even get here who's going to win.
All right, man. Well, thank you for your time. I know big headache trying to get this sorted out.
I've done this. I built my first car in 1991. It was my first race. So this is my 31st year running Hemi cars. So I've been doing it longer probably than any of these guys. Old and stupid.
All right. So the plan for tomorrow is, like I said, gonna try and talk to some more drivers. Maybe get some interviews going on there. Again, not a lot going on. We're gonna try and find something to do to fill the content. To be here right now is honestly surreal. A week ago, I wasn't planning on being here. Got an opportunity from the NHRA to come out here and do this media work, and it is beyond comprehension just how much access they have given me and how much of an opportunity they've given me. So big thank you to the NHRA for all that you do. I'm going to be here every single day from now until Monday when finals is over. I'm going to try and give you as much coverage as I can, as much news coverage as I can, as many interviews as I can, and expect it daily race day or session reviews. Each day you're going to have a review. I'm going to try and get them out by the morning. We'll see how that goes. Regardless, thank you guys for the support. If it wasn't for the fact that you guys supported me, they would not have found my videos and they would have not have given me this opportunity. So if you have been supporting this channel from the beginning, thank you. I appreciate the heck out of it. You have no idea how much it means to me. If you're watching this video for the first time, this might seem rough for a review. First time I'm doing this, it's going to get better from here. I'm hoping to make this go further and that eventually this could become a thing where I do basically following the tour. That's my end goal, is to follow the tour. I'm still going to do story time videos. Those aren't going anywhere. Heck, I already had an idea to do one for this weekend. Voice crack. I had an idea to do one for this weekend, but this happened. Threw everything out the window. So now we're doing this. The idea, videos are going to be still going on afterwards. And beyond that, depending on if I ever get an opportunity to do this again. So thank you for watching. If you haven't, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I know you hear it from every YouTuber, but it really does help to boost this channel and get it to a wider audience. Until then, I'm going to go home, edit this video, and you'll be watching it. I'll be back here tomorrow. If you happen to see me, say hi. But until then, the Mighty Mac, I've been yelling into a mic for a while. This is a crazy day, and I will see you next time.